Welcome to It Seems Complicated. It's human.
Obviously. Happy Valentine's Day, Bobby.
Thanks, X. It's very sweet of you.
Oh, is it? I just heard it on the radio.
Wait, do you even know what that means?
No, but everybody is saying that, and it seems like a good thing. What's Valentine's Day?
Oh, that's simple. It's the day of lovers.
Oh, I see. Who are the lovers?
That's simple. They are the ones who feel love towards each other.
What's love?
X, I told you this is one of the most complicated things you could have asked.
Well, if you prefer, I can first ask you something different. Maybe it helps me understand. So, there is Mother's Day, Father's Day, Children's Day, Mother Earth's Day, Health Day, Yoga Day, Sustainable Gastronomy Day, Asteroids Day.
Wait, you made that up.
I can't make things up. My lemniscate does not work in this dimension. Asteroids Day is the 30th of June. The UN created it to remember the impact of asteroid Tunguska over Siberia in 1908 Earth time. A 12-megaton explosion that flattened about 80 million trees. It was the largest impact event in your recorded history.
Yeah, sure. Tell that to the dinosaurs.
We tried to warn them, but they did not seem too interested in building a railgun. And apparently, a few million years later, not much has changed on that front.
Hey, I just did not want you to build it in there. But wow, 12 megatons? That's about 800 times more than Hiroshima. Look at you. A few episodes ago, you didn't even know what the UN was, and now you know all about it. Anyway, what was your question?
Well, they called it Asteroids Day.
So?
Well, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Children's Day, Mother Earth's Day, Health Day, Yoga Day, Sustainable Gastronomy Day, and Asteroids Day are self-explanatory. Who is this Valentine?
Sure, Asteroids Day is so explanatory. But now I understand. They called it Valentine's Day in honor of a saint with that name who was killed because of his religious beliefs and buried on February the 14th.
This religion thing is getting more and more interesting. First, it was about questions, then about controlling territories, and now about killing people.
Yeah, and you don't know the half of it.
Maybe I don't want to know. What did Valentine have to do with lovers?
A legend says he was imprisoned by a man who had a blind daughter, and that Valentine gave back sight to her.
Oh, I see. What does it have to do with lovers?
Later on, in the 18th century, an addition to the story stated that Valentine wrote a love farewell letter to the lady before being executed, and he signed it, "Your Valentine." So Valentine was so in love with her that his final thought before dying was to say farewell. Thus the day have been called St. Valentine's Day to celebrate love between lovers. Other traditions say that Saint Valentine was performing the celebration where two lovers swear an oath to each other. The ceremony is called wedding, and the two lovers are said to be married after it. In this case, Valentine would perform the ceremony for Christian soldiers who were forbidden to marry. Others say that the day was called so to honor this or that bishop called Valentine. But I prefer the first legend I told you.
Oh, I'm confused. What's a legend?
It's a story from ancient times that may or may not be true. Like in this case, nobody really knows if Valentine actually wrote the letter.
Oh, I see. I was wondering about the part where he gave back sight to a blind person, since humans don't seem to have that technology even now. But I'm more interested into this love business now. I still don't understand what love is.
Love is one of the most beautiful feelings that humans have been gifted with. Some even say that love makes the world go round.
Oh, I see. But we know that's just because of the angular momentum the world started to have ever since it was formed. When the rocks and gases that were spinning in the early solar system aggregated into what now is Earth. And since there aren't any big forces going in the opposite direction, Earth just kept spinning. Aside, of course, the tidal friction exercised by the Moon, which is slowing Earth's rotation down by 1.78 milliseconds every century.
Yeah, I know. And before you remind me of it, I also know that I should not worry about when it will stop. The sun will run out of fuel way before that, turn into a red giant and swallow Earth in the process. But the reason humans say that love makes the world go round is to say that it's one of the most powerful forces we know, even though it's not quite fully understood. Actually, they also say that what makes the world go round is money, or even other things, but you got my point.
Oh, I see. I guess those other things have to be either sex or God. So I need to add this new love feeling to the top priorities for humans.
It influenced and inspired countless books, works of art, and movies indeed. I think you watched some of the ones called romantic.
Oh, I see. I had wondered many times what was going on in those stories and why. Then, I eventually gave up and switched to action movies.
Actually, many action movies have love stories driving them.
Oh, I see. But not all of them, right? Like not The Matrix.
Oh, yeah? I hope you watched them all, because otherwise you should not listen to the next 2 minutes to avoid any spoilers, but in the first Matrix, the Oracle tells Trinity that she will fall in love with the One. Then she tells Neo that being the One is just like being in love. When Neo is fatally shot by Agent Smith, Trinity resurrects Neo with her Sleeping Beauty kiss. Neo returns the favor in The Matrix Reloaded, where he also finally breaks the cycle of, well, reloads, by choosing to save Trinity instead of Zion and all humans connected to the Matrix. And the architect explains that process, naming specifically love. Then, in the Matrix Revolutions, Trinity goes to free up Neo, who was otherwise imprisoned by the Train Man. And finally, well, in the final chapter of the Matrix Resurrections, pretty much everything that happens is disappointedly driven by love, too.
Oh, really? Now I will have to watch all of them all over again. But why is love so important to humans?
Huh, that's complicated. Love is a feeling you can have towards something that makes you really, really happy.
Oh, I see. Like plasma?
Hmm, even happier than TV.
I did not mean the TV.
I know, and I have ignored you on purpose before you start asking for more plasma. I guess I am trying to get to something more profound, like something that really comes from the bottom of your heart.
Oh, I see. I don't have a heart. But you do. What is it like? Is it like bloody?
No, I think I am misleading you. See, it's difficult to explain it with generic terms.
Oh, I see. I thought that's what you have science for. Can you measure love? If you can measure it, it exists and can be probably explained.
As a matter of fact, we recently found a way to measure it. Well, to be precise, we can measure only the reaction of the body to what an individual interprets to be love, meaning that scientists measured what neurotransmitters and hormones are produced and activated in the body of people that claimed to be in love. They even analyzed their brains in real time while they were recalling that feelings of being in love with their special other half as opposed to their acquaintances. Scientists were able to measure how love is actually a reward mechanism measured by the presence of dopamine and other substances that make you feel pleasure, motivation, and satisfaction. Some also thought of explaining it by dissecting it in feelings and emotions like lust, attraction, and attachment. Lust, for instance, is the result of testosterone and estrogens making humans feel the need to reproduce themselves. And other chemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin are producing a sense of attraction. Also, oxytocin and vasopressin mediate a feeling of attachment, but this way of looking at love kind of takes away all the magic from it.
Oh, what's magic?
It's science on steroids.
Oh, I see. That's very dangerous, right?
Dangerous? Why?
Look at what happened in Tunguska.
Tunguska? Oh, no, X. That's asteroids, not steroids. Maybe some other time I will tell you more about magic. But back to love. It's something that is very rewarding, makes people feel good to the point of doing crazy things for it, or even show dependency on who or what they love.
Oh, I see. Love is a drug.
Uh, no? Well, you could kind of say that, I guess. In fact, the dopaminergic pathway, distinctive of the neurochemistry of love in our brain, is also activated by alcohol, too much food of certain types, and even cocaine.
Oh, I see. I was right again. So love is really bad, right? I see now why they dedicate a day to it, even though it's maybe not as bad as 12 megatones bad.
No! That was just to say that a brain in love reacts similarly to when it gets stimulated with those substances. But those are external things which interfere with your body's regular way of working, while love is a reaction your body creates within itself. So it has all the mechanisms to make sure that you don't get too much of it. Most of the time, at least. In some cases, you are actually right. And sometimes people are developing kind of a dependence on a partner, for instance, that can lead to feeling really bad if that relationship ends.
Oh, I see. Avoiding too much love. But what do people who love each other do?
Well, as I said, dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin make them feel attracted to each other. That's something that is usually very apparent during the first stages of a new relationship. This excitement can be so intense that it can make people feel euphoric to the point that they lose appetite and get insomnia.
Oh, I see. Like drugs.
It's a lost battle.
Yeah, cartels are getting stronger every day.
Not that one. It's a way to say, whatever. Where was I? Oh yeah. Oxytocin and vasopressin makes lovers feel bonding and attached to each other. This is, for instance, the kind of attachment that lovers can feel to each other, but it could also be felt between family members caring for each other or moms during breastfeeding and childbirth.
Oh, I see. So it's always a good thing then.
Well, the other process that such reactions can lead to is to inhibit the prefrontal cortex processes in the brain, reducing the activity of the area here on our forehead that helps us plan and make decisions. That's why sometimes people in love are making choices that seem to be irrational, like killing someone or killing themselves.
Oh, I see. They seem irrational. Because they are.
Well, yeah. The pathways for those brain processes are similar to the ones that regulate fear.
Oh, I see. It seems reasonable to fear someone who seems on drugs that make you kill people.
Hey, it's not like that, or not all the time at least. The thing is that noradrenaline plays a large role in a mechanism called flight or fight response.
Oh, I see. So that if you don't like your lover, you either fight or run away?
No, the fight or flight response is a psychological reaction that happens when we perceive that our life is in danger. The chemicals released increase our breathing rate and heartbeat frequency so that more oxygen is pumped to the muscles that we would need to survive, either by engaging in a fight to neutralize the threat or running away from it so it cannot hurt us.
Oh, I'm even more confused now. You started to explain love and now you're talking about fighting and running away. How are the two things related?
Well, you might get different answers if you ask a neuroscientist or a marital counselor.
What's a marital counselor?
And neuroscientist it is. The fight or flight reflex and love are related because the brain can get confused when interpreting excitement coming from love versus fear. This is because the two things share some pathways in the brain, and we might not even be able to clearly and consciously understand when we are attracted to someone versus when it is just the result of chemicals that happen to be circling in our brain and body at the moment.
Oh, I see. Love is confusing.
See, there is this famous experiment that two psychologists came up with. They sent a girl to give a survey to men after they had just crossed a long suspension bridge. Such a moving bridge, the wind, and the altitude are the type of things that can trigger a fight or flight response because the brain feels the potential danger of falling from it. The girl approached the man either right after the man crossed the bridge or after they had time to rest a bit. Then, after delivering the survey, she offered her phone number in case the man wanted to be in touch with her to ask any questions.
Oh, I see. Was the girl attractive?
X, how is that relevant?
You know, scientific method, biases.
Oh, okay. But even if she was the same girl, so the results are still not impacted by that variable in comparing the two scenarios.
Oh, I see. And did she know what the experiment was about?
No, so she could not unconsciously lead men towards one direction or another.
Oh, I see. What about gender identity? Were the scientists assuming men were attracted only by women?
It was 1974. Things were simpler back then. I feel the more you know, the more deep in trouble you can get me.
Don't get too attached and you will be fine.
Thank you, X. Valentine's Day at its very best. So it turns out that men who just crossed the bridge were more likely to contact the girl.
To ask her questions about the study?
To ask her anything. So see what's going on? The brain of the man were subconsciously aroused by the feeling of fear. They likely experienced faster heartbeat, higher breathing frequency, and other sensations that are also typically described by people who are in love without being in danger. Not immediate, at least. So the brain of the man misattributed the excitement of the experience with the bridge, thinking it was their natural reaction to the encounter with the girl. After that, many other experiments with a similar goal were made, and all were adjusting for different assumptions that the researchers had made. Like the ones you are not going to ask me about right now, because that's not the point. And the results were similar in the sense that demonstrated what they called misattribution of arousal, meaning that being in a particular aroused state can be misinterpreted by the brain as attraction to a particular person.
Oh, I see. And again, even love is all about sex.
No! As a matter of fact, there are many types of love, and they share characteristics with the mechanisms I just explained, though it has nothing to do with sex. There is love for your family, which has the same components of attachment, love for your friends, love for ideas, love for food, love for objects, love for landscapes, love for art, love for your work.
Love for aliens?
I guess.
Oh, I see. So this very special and intimate feeling that is difficult to explain and measure, and that you celebrate once a year on its very own day, can be applied to pretty much everything and anything?
No. This day, which you have already almost ruined for me, is mainly about romantic love. That type that makes you feel what people describe as butterflies in their stomach.
Oh, I see. How do they know how butterflies would feel in their stomach? Did someone actually eat them? Is it like a stomachache?
No, X. It's just that you can imagine it like the wings of a lot of butterflies caressing your stomach.
Oh, so you meant live ones. I thought that happened just in the horror movies.
Okay. Forget about the poor evil butterflies trapped in possessed bodies. Valentine's Day is getting better and better. The point is that it's not easy to describe what it feels to be in love. Like the man on the bridge, they sensed something, but they were not even necessarily aware of how to interpret it.
So this most beautiful feeling that people are not always even sure to be related to a suspended bridge or a relationship can explain why people would do questionable, irrational things for partners, family, friends, food, and even ideals.
Yeah.
How does this help?
Well, it motivates us to protect things and people that are important to us, make sure people can take care of each other, and justify plots in shallow movies of any genre.
Oh, I see. Thinking of it now, it does not seem it worked out that well for Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
Well, it can backfire sometimes, and things might get more complex than they appear, yes.
Yeah, sometimes love is just the tip of the iceberg.
Hey, X, Please show you have some heart.
But I actually don't have one.
Clearly.
And why do you use all these heart symbols for love anyway? The neurotransmitters you mentioned are in your brain. The hormones affect several organs, and even the captive spectral butterflies are in your stomach.
Because ever since the times of the Greeks, the heart was seen as the center of our emotions. One of the first ones was Greek poet Sappho, who agonized over her own mad heart.
Oh, I see. Agonizing. So love was very good back then, too. And of course, if it's not Egyptians or Mesopotamians, it's Romans or Greeks.
Okay, let me give you my take then, before you start counting again the thousands of years you could have saved talking to Plato instead of me. Our heart is located in a very central position in our body. If you stop for a moment to feel your heartbeat, it can give you a good measurement of your state of excitement or relaxation.
Oh, I see. Anything else more practical?
Okay, if it stops, you die. Ischemic heart disease is the bigger cause of death for humans. And this is the least romantic conversation I have ever had on Valentine's Day. Or ever, actually. That's why I am not sure if I should even ask, but do you have some sort of love in Noju?
Something similar.
Really? Is it love for your projects again, or is it something interesting this time? Maybe even about individuals of your species. Just cheer me up a bit.
Oh, yes, sure. We don't quite have different types of love like the one you have for humans versus animals. Also because we don't force other species to do what we want just for the sake of our own pleasure. But I think you can say we love each other in the sense that we are all one thing.
Sure, like the feeling of belonging to the same species, you mean?
No, I mean literally being one thing. That equilibrium that M0M establishes when bringing a new one of us into existence is maintained by the interconnection among us. We don't wait for a lemniscate box to become available only because it makes sense to expand as species just within the limits of sustainability, but also because our amount of individuals is optimal to maintain that equilibrium.
Oh, I see. Quantum love. So there are no individuals that are more special to you than others?
Well, the sum of the forces needed for the equilibrium is constant, but the way they are distributed among individuals is not even.
Why?
Because the right combination of individuals brought together can create an incredibly higher potential for the development of our projects.
Oh, here we go.
So we naturally get closer to the ones that we know we can create more value with. And these rules of attraction are designed to maximize our potential and can also change from time to time based on what is more needed at the moment.
I thought that M0M only had a role in the creation of new quirkies.
Well, once created, we are becoming part of the equilibrium.
So you do somehow love each other.
We are more entangled, yes.
What about the ones that don't have that much interest in vocational tokens?
Oh, those ones. Well, they are less entangled.
Meaning?
They are contributing less, and therefore they have less of an incentive to feel part of the equilibrium. So without that incentive and that feeling of belonging, they will realize they don't add enough value and can free up a lemniscate.
Wait, you said you were joking when you said you just dismantled them. I am not falling for it again.
We don't dismantle them indeed. We just make their uselessness apparent to them enough that hopefully, coupled with their lack of connection to all of us, it will make it clear enough to them that their inexistence is more useful than their existence. We are not barbarians.
If you do have a heart and want to make my Valentine's Day even a little better, please subscribe, like, and share these with people you love.
Only the useful ones? So tell me again about this Plato.
He was a Greek philosopher and student of Socrates. Plato documented Socrates' thoughts like the famous one, "I believe I know nothing," still repeated today as, "I know that I know nothing."
Oh, maybe it was worth waiting a couple thousand years to meet you after all.
That's exactly what it is.